Hi, Mike.
Oh, hi, JF.
How are you?
Happy Auto Show.
Yeah, last day, finally.
Last day of the Detroit Auto Show on Road Testament. We're talking about forums today.
Yeah.
And it's something that we kind of stumbled on when we were walking around the show and talking to people.
It's becoming much more of a relevant subject at auto shows. You know, I started off in the forums. I got into cars from car forums. I learned a lot of my knowledge from just scouring car forums when I grew up. And that was, 10 years ago, even longer than that. They've been around for a while.
Yeah, I was never a forum guy.
Yeah.
But the interesting thing is that now all these companies are doing these social media projects, right?
Yeah.
GM is doing something where they're having online influencers.
Yeah. Honda has
out
something.
Honda's, they're all picking, with the Chevy concepts,
Yep.
they're having people pick out the concepts they want to see
They're
built.
thinking social media as Facebook, Twitter, Foursquare, whatever, but forums, those are the enthusiasts.
They're missing
out. They've been around a very long time.
Right, they're missing out on a giant group of people who are devoted to the brands on which the forums that they're on.
A lot of times that, and the interaction with the manufacturers, I think that's what we're trying to speak of right now.
Yeah.
It's not unprecedented to have BMW people go onto Roadfly or Audi go onto Quattro World or Audi World of the past years.
Yeah.
These manufacturers do use these forums.
Right, and I know that a lot of them are really nervous about it because they see a lot of these forums as sort of feedback loops of bad information.
Yeah.
Where, people start talking crap about a company and
just spirals.
It just spirals out of control.
And they can't defend themselves. Because if they do, then it gets out of control.
It becomes like
they have no control. They have no control over it, and that's what's very scary.
And they don't like to not have control over the message. But so we're trying to figure out. There are some companies that are doing really good stuff with forums.
I'm gonna bring up Audi, but and Audi. We spoke to Zarin before.
Yeah.
Zarin from Speed Sport Life, and the guy that got me into the automotive industry. He gave a great example of how Audi is. They've done good things, but at the same time, they can't do it all.
Now that manufacturers are interacting more on Facebook and on Twitter, it's the same mentality with those that carries over to the forums. These guys are a lot more dedicated, I would say. These are your enthusiast groups. Twitter, Facebook, a lot of those you can just get your average consumer, but the enthusiast groups are all going to go back to the forums. So if they embrace what they've done with Twitter and Facebook and kind of interact, leave the conversation to the consumers. Kind of interact with them. Say, okay, here's the questions. What would you like to see? When the consumers respond, let them respond. Don't attack right off the bat and just strike them out. And just let them talk. Once they're done, take in the data, just listen to it, and then come back and form a response. And a general response is probably the best way we can do it.
If a company has a presence on a forum, put some people posting on forums, people on the forum don't care whether it's a product guy or an engineer or something. Sometimes, you get some people that do.
They just know you work for Audi, so you can do everything, or you work for BMW, so you can do everything.
If they have a customer service problem, like if they, they're something...
My rim keeps getting bent,
exactly.
Whatever it may be.
They think that they can just inundate that person with a bunch of information. So it's tricky.
And you want to know something? We did speak to BMW, Matt Russell, earlier, and he said, we can use it, but they are enthusiasts. They're on these forums because they are enthusiasts. So it is a sample population of the whole. We can't just expect, as Matt Russell said, you can't just expect everyone it doesn't represent all their customers.
I think an internet forum can give us kind of a trend vector for maybe a psychographic consumer mindset or a consumer demand. It can give us maybe give us a few directions on where to look for market research. We don't do market research necessarily on internet forums. That would not be a large enough sample for us, and it wouldn't be a statistically valid sample. But again, we can get an idea of where to go hunting for different things, and maybe we can get some ideas for different areas of the product to do research on looking forward.
It's a very enticing thing for these companies to try to get these guys on their side.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of knowledge in there that they can tap into.
Well, VW Vortex is a great example of, Jamie has explained, VW Vortex is, Volkswagen enthusiasts are a very big part of their sales.
Right.
And, the new, the Golf R No, that car was, the product planners went to VW Vortex and said, what do you guys want? Those were the guys who were buying the cars.
Right.
What do you guys want to buy? 2-door, 4-door, colors, what?
Yeah.
Very interesting.
We've been working with Volkswagen for 12, 13 years now. So, over time as the site has grown and we've got a large amount of their customers on our website, we've forged a relationship together that's been really kind of cool. They're a great company to work with. They do some great things. The people are fun to work with, so it makes it easy, and it's natural for them to come to us and say, hey, we need some feedback from some of our enthusiasts and some of the people that own our cars on where we might be headed with some future product and that type of thing. They came to us and said, okay, we're thinking about 2-door, 4-door. Why don't we run a poll? And we run that as VW Vortex. So that and tell our readers basically that Volkswagen's looking for feedback. They're thinking about 2-door, 4-door. Which one would you buy? And then we bring all that data back. And it's not uncommon for us, out of 5,000 units they want to sell, to bring them back 10 or 15,000 responses. So, and if we're a subset of the market, it's actually great for everybody.
Yeah, there's a lot of trust building that has to go on with these forums. I mean, it's so easy to just follow the social media thing and just go to Facebook and go to Twitter and come up with how you can talk to the CEO on a Tuesday in a Facebook chat room. Yeah, I mean, but there are thousands and thousands of people in forums that are really brand engaged. Yeah, it sounds like brand engaged. Like that's marketing.
I think what we're getting to is that this auto show has shown that car enthusiasts are starting to take note of it, and it's a good thing.
Yeah.
But let's see who adopts it fast.
Right. Exactly.
That's really what it comes down to. What do you guys think?
Yeah. What do you think? At Drive TV, at Twitter. Speaking of social media.
Oh, God.
Well, what are you going to do? We're not a car company. We don't care.
Oh,
we just care
boy.
about you, the viewer and the consumer of cars. Good cars. Good cars.
John Elway.
John Elway?